All right, y'all, welcome. My name is Carlo, or CFavroto_Jr. out there on the internet, and I am here to open the new Magic the Gathering Foundation set starter collection. Okay, so this starter collection was gifted to me by Wizards of the Coast, so big thank you to Wizards for sending me this. And this starter kit has all essentially the same cards, same content in it. Um, it comes with 350 plus cards, sealed, all the same. It comes with the storage box and then a little click wheel for life totals, and then it also comes with 3 play boosters. So we're going to open up this box, show you what the same contents is, and then we're going to see how many standard legal decks that we can build out of this starter collection without using the 3 booster packs. And then we'll open up the 3 booster packs and see what additions that we can make to the decks that we've built. Because this is a product that's designed to get people in the standard, and I play standard literally all the time, right? I stream 4 to 5 days a week, playing arena, playing viewer decks and stuff like this all the time. So we are going to see what is inside. So let's open it up and see what's all inside for us to build with. I like it. Ooh, nice little storage box. Ah, it's a foily storage box. We like those. Okay, so yep, that's the whole box. So let's move this over here. So it comes with this deck builder's guide inside, and the deck builder's guide inside basically tells you the basics, what you want to do to build a standard legal deck, right? It tells you, welcome. The starter collection is designed to give you everything you need to get started building your own Magic decks. So there are 26 traditional foil cards, 90 basic land cards, 250 plus other cards, a click wheel life counter, this storage box here, and 13 tokens for you. And then it takes you through the basics on how to build the deck, right? So it says your deck probably wants between 24 to 26 lands, 17 to 22 creatures, and 13 to 18 other spells. This, of course, gets complicated in standard with the more cards that you add and different strategies and stuff. And it tells you about the different colors of Magic and what each strategy is for these different colors. And it tells you, like, green's for ramp, red is meant to attack quickly, black is meant to drain life, white talks about gaining life and lifelink creatures, and then blue being, hey, counter everybody's stuff, And then it tells you some build around strategy with the cards that are in the starter collection, such as, Crackling Cyclops plus Think Twice and what that does. Llanowar Elves and Dwynen's Elite get you more elf tokens. And there's even a combo in the starter kit, Harmless Offering and Demonic Pact combined. So you can get Demonic Pact all the way to the last mode, and then you can Harmless Offering it and donate it to your opponent, and then they lose the game, which is pretty funny. And then it tells you a little bit about the mana curve, how many cards you should have that are 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4s, 5s, 6s, and more. And how you can refine the deck with some cool resources for you. And of course, loot. Oh, I love that loot art. So yeah, this is a cool little deck builder's guide. Super useful for people who are getting started in Magic and want to build a standard deck. And I love this box because it's foily, and I am a sucker for foil things. So here we are. I think this is Giada's art that's on the deck box too, which is pretty nice. Look how sparkly it is. All right, so let's open it up and see what contents we got. So here is the click wheel. This is nice for keeping your life total. Goes all the way up to 99 if you want. And then a little holder for that. Green tier, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, welcome in. So for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I am live streaming this on Twitch right now. Like I said, I do go ahead and stream like 4 to 5 days a week. So you might be hearing me say thank you a couple times for folks who are either subbing to the stream or raiding the channels. Thank you, Green Tier, for the raid. I really appreciate that. Y'all are joining us for this box opening of the starter collection. Ooh, that's a foil Lyra. Okay. So we have these cool little dividers here. Very nice. I'm not sure how well you can see it on the camera here, But there are little ridges inside this box. And so these are little dividers for your cards. So you can put the little divider in the ridges and separate your cards and stuff like this to make it easier for your organization and stuff like that. It's Aaron Royale. Thank you for the raid as well. So yeah, that's what's in this box. So this is your little storage box. And then this also comes with 3 play boosters of Foundations that we will open. And then it also comes with some Commander cards. So people who are interested in getting started in Commander, so these are the only non-standard legal cards that are here. I believe it's an Arcane Signet, a Command Tower, and a Soul Ring. And how you tell that they're not standard legal is because they are a separate set symbol. So they have much different set symbol that's different than Foundations. It's not the little star. So Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Command Tower, and they come in foil too. So that way you could take the starter collection that's meant for standard, but in case you wanted to build a commander deck out of the contents, you have basically your commander basics. So that's pretty nice. So there's 4 different pre-arranged packages. All of these contents in each starter collection are exactly the same. There is no difference. So you have one that is basic lands. So there's a mixture of full arts here, and I believe non-full arts as well. I love full art lands. Been playing with them a lot since OG Zendikar. It's always nice to get some full art basics. And I like that these new collections and bundles have been coming with them. So yeah. Now these have a iconic character from Magic, so like a creature, or a planeswalker on these full arts in Foundations. So you will see a good mix of full arts here, and then your regular basic lands. That way you have lots of sweet basics for building your decks in the future. And then these also come with soldier and or other tokens. So we've got soldiers, cats, cat beasts, dogs, insect, zombie, elf warrior, and copy token. And then they also come with these really sweet inserts that tell you how to cast spells, the phases of your turn. So in case you were absolutely brand new to Magic and you bought this kit, it tells you all how to play the game. And then it tells you how to set up the battlefield for your convenience too, which is pretty nice. It tells you about attacking and blocking. This is awesome. Okay. So let's move these over here. So these are our basic lands and our tokens. We're going to move these over here for now. And then you have 3 packets of cards that are all the same in each collection. You have uncommons and commons. You do get X amount of rares and mythics, including some foil mythic rares. And they will always, the mythics and the rares in these starter kits will always be foil if they come in foil. There's not like an option to get either or. So let's take a look at the commons and uncommons that come in the starter collection. And these commons and uncommons, there's an easier, pull apart thing here in the middle. These commons and uncommons do have multiples. So it's not like you get one moment of craving or one of any particular creature. You get enough to make a consistent standard deck. So let's check it out. All right, I'm gonna actually zoom in just a bit for this so we can see this more up close. So we've got Moment of Craving, Suspicious Shambler, Undying Malice, 2 Dragon Fodders, Thornwood Archer, Archway Angel, Ballyrush Banneret, Crusader of Odric, Dawning Marshal, ooh, Devout Decree in here, that's really good for sideboards, Disenchant, some Felidar Cub. There's 2 Stasis Snare in here. Very nice. Alright, so there's some black and white cards. Chart of Course, Flash Freeze. It's a nice one that's coming back. Gateway Sneak, because there are gates in this set, and Maze's End, which is nice. And Mystical Teachings is a nice return to Foundations. I remember playing this back when it was standard legal in OG Time Spiral. Duress is back. We might have to question the Duress art used in the set, but it is back, and it's here in standard for at least 5 years. We've got Bolt Bend. Crash Through is back in standard. Dragon Mage at uncommon. We got 2 Gitu Lava Runners. Hoarding Dragon, which is reprinted at uncommon again. This card used to be rare. Mind Sparker also used to be a rare, so up in the power level of some of these cards. I am glad that Obliterating Bolt is staying in standard for 5 years, because that card is amazing. Circuitous Route to search up our gates. Finn the Fangbearer is back. So this is interesting because we had previous sets in standard. It was during March of the Machines that had a Multiverse Legends, and Finn the Fangbearer was a Multiverse Legend. So folks might still already have Finn the Fangbearer if you got into standard not too long ago, which is pretty nice. Deadly Brew, Dryad Militant. Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, also was a Multiverse Legend. Mortify in standard for 5 years. Destroy target creature enchantment for 1 white and a black. Diamond Mare, Feldon's Cane, which hasn't been reprinted for quite some time. Sorceress Spyglass is back at uncommon. Little Soul Guide Lantern. And then we've got some Guild Gates. Cryptic Caves is a creature land. Demolition Field stays in standard for like 5 years. Bunch of gates. And then I think some of these are newer cards too, right? More white cards. Hinterland Sanctifier. Rabbit Cleric. Whenever another creature you control enters, you gain a life. So this is a Soul Sister for my OG Magic players. Oh, Full Art Ajani's Pride Mate. Or alternate art, anyway. Refute. Vengeful Blood Witch. Abrade. Reclamation Sage. Swiftfoot Boots in standard. And then more full art basics here. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's move these over to the side. And then we'll open our second pack here. Oh, welcome in. Hey, DK. Hey, Aaron. Thank you for the watch streaks. Hey, Trilix. Hey, Lethal. Welcome in, y'all. Okay. Open this up. I like Consuming Aberration. Card's my jam. Alright. So, let me see. They are all rares. Ooh, they might all be rares in this pack. Let's see. So, we got Consuming Aberration. Angelic Destiny for a Mythic, which is pretty sweet. Charming Prince at rare. Felidar Retreat. Fumigate. Linden the Steadfast Queen. Mentor the Meek. Regal Caracal. Zetalpa, 1-800 Are You Flappin'? Is here. Arcanist the Omnipotent. Dictate of Krufix. Finale of Revelation at Mythic. Harbinger of the Tide. River's Rebuke back in standard from OG Ixalan. Sphinx of the Final Word. Tempest Djinn. Great Shark. There's Demonic Pact. Desecration Demon back in standard. Dread Summons. Kalastria Highborn. Midnight Reaper. Myojin of Night's Reach for all my OG Kamigawa enjoyers. No Priest of Oblivion. Wishclaw Talisman. Ball Lightning for my mono red enjoyers. Dragon Master Outcast at Mythic. There's that Harmless Offering that goes with the Demonic Pact. Laughless, Redcap Gutter Dweller. This card was actually just in Wilds of Eldraine, so they reprinted it in this set, so it stays in standard for 5 years. Stromkirk Noble and Taurean Mauler, little shapeshifter. Getting to the green, we've got Hero's Bane, Predator Ooze, Primal Might, Primeval Bounty at Mythic with that new enchantment border that's going to stay now, which is pretty nice. Rampaging Baloth, this card used to be Mythic. Surak the Huntcaller, Vizier of the Menagerie, and Wildborn Preserver. Then getting to our multicolors, we've got Aurelia the War Leader at Mythic, which is in standard now for 5 years. Ailey, Drugskull Reaver, Halana and Elena, Immersturm Predator, Maelstrom Pulse, very excited about this card. Ovika is going to stick around for 5 years. This card's in Phyrexia, all will be one. Prime Speaker Zagana, formerly Mythic Rare. Wiltleaf Liege from Shadowmoor. And then we get into our colorless cards. So we got Basilisk Collar, Cultivator's Caravan, Darksteel Colossus at Mythic, Maze Mine Tome, Pyromancer's Goggles at Mythic, Ramos Dragon Engine. Now listen, I've only ever played with this card in Commander, so I wonder what type of like combos we can get with it in Standard, because all you gotta do is remove 5 +1/+1 counters from it to add 2 of each color mana to your mana pool, only once a turn. And so you don't even have to have the +1 counters from casting spells for its triggered ability. You could use other things to put +1/+1 counters on it. So that's pretty sweet. And we got a Steel Hellkite. Alright, so then we have our land. So Crawling Barrens, reprinted. That's a creature land. Then we have the Temple Cycle. So 10 of the different come into play tapped, or scry lands, as we call them, because they all say when this land enters scry 1. Oh, and then we've got more uncommons and commons. Yeah, Tatiova, Burnished Heart. And in addition to the caves, we also have another common land cycle. These are the enters tapped gain life lands. They get reprinted often into Standard. And then we have like Evolving Wilds, Rogue's Passage, and then the remaining commons. Oh, Opt is back in Standard? I didn't even see that. Opt is back in Standard, y'all, and you get 4 of them in this starter collection. Scry 1, draw a card at instant speed. That's awesome. I forgot that I saw that card in the preview gallery. Okay, now last pack, and you can see that Lyra Dawnbringer foil is on top. So they're giving you foil mythics here, which is nice to see. Okay, so foil Lyra Dawnbringer at Mythic, foil Rite of Replication, Massacre Worm is back and at Mythic, Gratuitous Violence, Gigantosaurus, just a vanilla 10/10 for 5 green, and that is a rare. Adaptive Automaton, Gilded Lotus, Maze's End. My friend is back in Standard. I love playing Gates. Y'all have no idea. And then you have some common uncommons. Angel Vitality, Make a Stand, Confiscate, Negate, Feed the Swarm, Gatekeeper of Malakir. I love this card. Gutter Snipe, Impact Tremors. Oh, 2 Imperious Perfects. This card used to be rare. Palaka Worm also used to be rare. Boros Charm for my Burn enjoyers. Expedition Map. I don't know how much Expedition Map's going to get played in Standard, to be honest, but probably can get played in Pioneer, because it's definitely played in Modern, like Tron decks. Alright, let's see. How's the foil quality? It looks pretty good. It might look a little different because of the glare of my my light here, but otherwise it is okay. I like it. I like my foil cards. They're definitely very foily. Got some cat collectors. Ayo. And these are just more commons and uncommons from this starter collection also. Oh, they give you 3 Vengeful Bloodwitch, 2 Crackling Cyclops. Oh, we got our 12/8 Vanilla Dino. So 2 Vanilla Dinos in this set. Oh, Ravenous Amulet. This card I think is very good in Limited. I just got destroyed by it. I was doing the early access for Magic Online, and I got destroyed by that card in Draft. Resolute Reinforcements is back, y'all. It's staying in Standard. Savannah Lions, Stroke of Midnight, Brinehorn Cutthroat. Remember the OG Flash decks in Standard from a couple years back? Got some Spirits and Spectral Sailor. Think Twice is back. Tolarian Terror stays. Got some Heroes Downfall. Pretty nice. Vampire Nighthawk is back. Zombify is back for some 4 mana Reanimate. Burst Lightning, and they give you 4 of them in this collection. Fanatical Firebrand back from Ixalan. And Hidetsugu's Second Right. I remember playing with this card in Standard when it was in the Kamigawa block, and it was so fun. It says if target player has exactly 10 life, it deals 10 damage to that player. So that's pretty awesome. We got some Dwayne and Elites for our Elf Enjoyers. 4 Llanowar elves. So in case you're trying to build either elves or some type of like green X mid-range deck where this is a very powerful 1-drop to play, that's where it's at. You get 4 in this collection. And Ruby is here, also from Eldraine. Cool. So these are all the commons and uncommons, rares, and mythics. So in the starter collection, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mythics. 14 mythics in the starter collection. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 61 rares. 61 rares, 14 mythics. So that comes in this kit, right? And I'm not talking about the extra packs that you get too, because there's more rares and mythics in there. And then you get this big stack of commons and uncommons, a mixture of cards of different colors, and basic lands. So that all comes in the starter kit here. So, if we were to build a standard deck with what's here, what can you build? And I think you can start. One thing I always tell players when they are drafting or sealed, like especially the pre-release, look at your rares first and build around your powerful rares and mythics, right? It's pretty easy start. And, you know, I told you I love Maze's End. And Maze's End, you could build a Maze's End deck out of this particular stack. You do only get one Maze's End, though. In Standard, if you were to build this deck, you could play 4 Maze's End in your deck to try to, you know, win via that alternate win condition. So you would want to be looking for cards that are going to help ramp you, because Maze's End says you need to pay 3 and tap it, return this land, search for a gate, put the gate into play, and then if you have 10 different gates with different names, you win the game. This kit comes with exactly 10 gates, right? Differently named gates. So you have to make sure that you get them somehow, and you figure, hey, that's 10 lands out of your 24 to 26 that you would play in your deck. Typically, green goes really well with gates, right? So here's Maze's End, and you're looking for stuff that's going to help you ramp, which is traditionally in green. So a few things. One, you could play like Vizier of the Menagerie in your deck, because this allows you to cast creature spells from the top of your library that thins out your deck for you. And Primeval Bounty says whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 3/3 beast onto the battlefield. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 +1/+1 encounters on target creature control. And Landfall, which is important because you're searching for lands out of your deck, you gain 3 life. So that'll help you keep some life as you continue to ramp. So those could be 2 definite auto-includes. In terms of your rares that you've got out of here that you can use to help ramp you, you could play Gilded Lotus. That wouldn't be a terrible option. You can play your green Scry lands. That would help you try to thin out your deck a little bit. Cards that make you draw cards, such as Maze Mind Tome, or to manipulate the top of your deck. Cultivator's Caravan is a card that ramps you mana as well. Prime Speaker Zagana, if you stay in Simic, can help you draw cards if you are playing creatures that want to grow in power. That allows you to play bigger green creatures, right? Like Hero's Bane, Rampaging Baloth. Sticking with the landfall strategy with Maze's End isn't terrible. That'll get you 4/4 beast tokens. So, you know, if you can stick to green, that looks pretty okay here. Maybe some green-blue ramp deck that lets you go ahead and get your different gates. It also allows you to play flash creatures like Voracious Great Shark, River's Rebuke to bounce your opponent's things to their hands, Arcanist Omnipotent if you really want to draw some cards and thin that deck out a little bit. So those are good options there. So let's go ahead and take a look at our green commons and uncommons and blue and see what type of like a Simic ramp deck that we could build out of this pile that would help us be able to play in a standard tournament. So, let's see here. Fey Bloom Trick says it makes 2/1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying. When you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. So this can help you get blockers to maintain that tempo throughout the game, and it lets you tap a creature right out the back. So this could be one good option we could play in this deck. Mischievous Mystic says when you draw your second card each turn, you get to make a blue fairy token. We've got 2 of those. That way we can keep generating like chump blockers to stay in the game. Elvish Regrower says when this creature enters, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So in case for some reason a gate ends up making its way to your graveyard, or you need to rebuy your ramp spell, you could do that. Little 12-8. Vanilla Dino doesn't seem terrible either. Let's see. Brineborn Cutthroat says whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, put a counter on this creature. So if you're going to play instants like Feybloom Trick, that might be not terrible to include. Counter spells like Essence Scatter. Micromancer searches for a instant or sorcery card with value 1. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Oh, we'll see if we have something for that. Spectral Sailor also has Flash. Think Twice draws you cards. Witness Protection is good removal, or pseudo removal. And then we've got some green removal, like in Bite Down. Bushwhack does help you go get lands too. Garruk's Uprising. When this enchantment enters, if you control a green creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creature you control have trample, and whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. That doesn't seem terrible. All 4 Lawnmower Elves, of course, because that helps you ramp into your big spells. Wildwood Scourge lets you play a pretty big Hydra. Confiscate. Take your opponent's things. Imperious Perfect. If we were playing an elf deck, we definitely would want to play this. Palaka Worm for a nice ramp payoff as well. I would play Expedition Map in this deck, because Expedition Map lets you search for a land. So this would let you search up your Maze's End, or search up like a missing gate that you have and put that in your deck. So let's move this over here too. Cool. Hedron Archive. Opt will help you filter to get to your things. You could play Evolving Wilds in this deck to help filter your lands. It wouldn't be a terrible option, but you're already playing the gates, which are dual color. And they are also coming to play tap lands. So I don't think you would play like these types of lands in Evolving Wilds in the same deck as gates. We've got Into the Royal. It's nice tempo. Tatiova would be great in this deck. Burnished Heart searches for basics. They've got Meteor Golem, which is a nice ramp payoff as well. Refute is a counter spell in case you want to play that. Reclamation Sage is a very good card. I love Reclamation Sage. I've been literally playing with that card in Commander forever. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have exactly all 10 guild gates. So let's go ahead and put these to the side because we're going to need those. Looking for more blue-green things. We might need to play something like Thornwold Archer just to have some cheap blockers. There are cards like Archway Angel in this kit. There's also the blue card, Gateway Sneak. They care about gates, but they only come with 1 of each in this kit. So I don't know that you would play these just to play it, but they are easily splashable because you have the gates. So you will eventually have the mana to be able to cast cards like this. Archway Angel is very good because it says when it enters, you gain 2 life for each gate you have. So even if you play this card and you only have 3 gates out, you're still gaining 6 life, which is pretty nice. So let's move this to the side too, because we're probably going to want to play that card. These are more white cards. Chart, of course, which draws. Dive Down's okay. Fog Bank is nice if you want to try to Make sure that you have blockers. They're going to be able to get you through the game to where you develop your gates. Mystical Teachings searches for an instant or card with flash and reveals that and put it in your hand. Shipwreck Drowser you could play because you could return a ramp spell to your hand. And Unsummon is nice pseudo removal. And then I think that's towards the end of it, right? Except for Circuitous Route, which you definitely want. Fierce Empath search you for a creature with power 6 or greater. And this says, whenever you cast a spell that targets this creature, you draw a card. We're not doing that. Spring Broom Druid does help ramp you as well. And you can play Venom Connoisseur if you want. Cool. And then Trigon Predator, because that card is always great. Gate Colossus, of course. Okay. Hey, Aurora. Hey, Patrick. How are you? We are opening up the new starter collection. Welcome in. Hey, Alex. Welcome in. So, yeah, this is what we have here. So let's try to divide this up a little bit. So let me move this. And I said we were going to do Maze's End, Vizier, and Primal Bounty. But I don't think we can take advantage of the blue cards. I mean, we could play Finale of Revelation. Yeah, let's do Finality of Revelation because that draws cards. And Sphinx of the Final Word can't be countered. And it could be an alternate win condition in case we can't win with the gates. Alright, so let's move this here. Okay. I don't think we need Gilded Lotus. We can move these to the side for now. Cool, cool. So these are just some cards that we're putting to the side to try to see what we can build out of this starter collection if we wanted to build some gates for Maze's End and stuff like this. So I was zooming in to make it more easily viewable when I held the card up. So I'm going to go ahead and just zoom out a little bit. Bam. This might be a little bit better. And then we'll divide this up. Okay. So, number one thing that you want when you're playing this deck, or decks like this, is ramp. And you have some ramp in this deck in terms of your Llanowar Elves, and in terms of your Circuitous Route, which does search you for gates. So we've got 4 Llanowar Elves here. So let's move this here. And then we've got 2 Circuitous Route, which costs 4 mana, which says it searches your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gate cards and puts them onto the battlefield tapped. So you definitely want to maximize on this. If you end up opening up more Foundations products like booster packs and you get more Circuitous Routes, you definitely would want to put 4 in this deck because 100% worth it to search for your win conditions. We definitely want to play our Expedition map because that's going to help us search for our gates. So let's put this in the 1-drop slot here. We'll put these up in the 4-drop slot. And you can see we got all the 10 guild gates here. So we're going to have to supplement with islands and forests. Okay. And we've got our Maze's End too. So let's put our Maze's End off to the side as well. And our guild gates. So that way we don't lose them. Tatiova is great for this deck. Tatiova has Landfall. It is a 3/3 that says whenever a land you control enters, gain a life and draw a card. So even when you cast something like Circuitous Route and 2 lands enter the battlefield with Tatiova out, you draw 2 more cards and you gain 2 life, which is pretty nice. Tatiova costs 5. So we're going to put Tatiova over here. And we get, since we're playing blue and green, we get to play Gateway Sneak. It says whenever a gate enters, this creature can't be blocked. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. So we'll play this card. We've also got 4 Opt. The hands look better. uh, Hello, everybody in chat. Not that I'm ignoring y'all, but we are recording this for YouTube as well. So welcome in. And again, YouTube folks, we are streaming this live on Twitch. So you can catch me. My links are below. So we're just opening up the starter collection, and we are seeing what kind of decks that we can build out of the new starter collection from Foundations. So welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Okay, so we got some ops, yeah? We could play Opt. Opt isn't a terrible card. It only costs 1, and it says you get to scry 1 and draw a card. So this could help you search for your gates. We've got Think Twice, which lets you draw a card, and it has Flashback. So we definitely could play this. Unsummon for removal. We'll make cuts after we lay out some of these cards. You get to play big ramp spells like Meteor Golem. So that can stay here. Let's put Meteor Golem here. Cool. And you can also play Confiscate if you want. Confiscate's great. You get to take your opponent's permanents. Spectral Sailor lets you draw a card. Might not be the best. Brineborn Cutthroat is good, though. Mostly because we're going to try to play Opt and Think Twice in this deck. And we can play cards like Essence Scatter to counter our opponent's creature spells. Into the Royal is in this set, so we can bounce some things. And Mischievous Mystic says, whenever you draw your second card a turn, you make a fairy. This makes you 2 fairies and taps an opponent's creature. So let's put these here for now. Okay. Other bombs we had were Sphinx of the Final Word. This costs 7 mana for a 5/5, can't be countered. Flying, hexproof, instants and sorceries you control can't be countered. So let's just move this in this zone too. And then we also have Primeval Bounty. Vizier of the Menagerie on 4 to cast creatures off the top of the deck. And Finale of Revelation is an X spell. You draw X cards. If it's 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into the library, draw X cards, untap 5 lands, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That card's pretty good to play in this deck because we want to make sure we're drawing our gates and playing our gates every turn. Gate Colossus is in Foundations. Costs 1 less to cast for each gate you have. So it's a nice 8/8 that can be cheaper for you to cast. Trigon Predator is great. Spring Bloom Druid does ramp you. Reclamation Sage is fantastic. And then we could play cards like Garrick's Uprising, Bushwhack, Bite Down, and then the Elvish Regrower. Fierce Empath finds you something with power 6 or greater, so I think that can only find like Gate Colossus, so maybe this isn't the best card to play. Palaka Worm, though. I like me some Palaka Worm. And this is an X spell. Enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever 1 or more counters are put on another non-Hydra, you put that many on this. So while this might be an okay card, none of our other cards in this deck so far put +1/+1 counters. So we don't need to do that. 6 mana for a 12/8. Sure, why not? We can get up to this quick. We've got Llanowar Elves. Now, we do have the 1 green dinosaur in this kit that costs 5 green as a 10/10. But I think that might be difficult to cast in this particular type of deck. Because in the event you play like an island, let's say, on any other turn before turn 6, it's going to make you not be able to cast that card. So we're not going to put that dino in this deck. And then we could play an Archway Angel in this deck, because this costs white to play. But we have gates that produce white mana as well. So I'm going to put this over here for now. So by my count, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40. Yeah. So we got to make some cuts here because we want to play 25 lands in this deck, let's say. So we only want 35 cards. So the question here is, what do we cut from this deck? What do you think? What do you think? We could not play the Archway Angel. We could not play like the Mischievous Mystics, which is totally fine. We could take the 12-8 Dino out for 6 mana, even though I really want to play that card. Yeah, let's take this out. I think Tatyov is better. We do got Big Palaka Worm here and Gate Colossus. We could take out the Archway Angel, so we don't have to play white at all. So that means we have to cut 3 more cards. Let's cut the 2 Mischievous Mystics out of here. And maybe the Garruk's Uprising, because this will only trigger off of, you know, the bigger spells. And this gives us 35. 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 2, 4, 5. Yes. So this gives us 35 cards here. So now all we got to do is add lands. So, of course, we get to have our Maze's End. So we've got Maze's End here. We've got all 10 guild gates. And yes, some of the guild gates won't be within our colors, and that's totally fine. Because we are basically going to try to search for those ones that we can't benefit from casting spells first off of cards like Circuitous Route. Right? Putting them in play, making sure they're there, and we can cast all of our other spells without issue. So that takes up 11 lands for this deck out of 25. So that means you need 14 more lands to play in this deck. And even though the starter collection does come with like the other common dual land cycle, like Bloodfell Caves and stuff like that, I think this would be better served to just play basics. Even over like the Scry lands, there could be argument to play like the blue-green Temple in this deck because it's easy, right? So this is the Scry land here, so you could play this, and that means you need 13 lands. I wouldn't play any of the creature lands in this deck. I don't think that's necessary. Oh, actually, we can play Rite of Replication, can't we? It only copies a creature, but it can copy your opponent's creature too. Let's put Rite of Replication in this deck. I like that card. And we can cut like... maybe the Feybloom trick. Yeah, let's cut this out of here. So we don't have a whole lot of 3s, but I think that's okay. Or we could just play 24 lands. We do have 4 Llanowar Elves and multiple ways to draw cards and ramp. Actually, let's keep it in. And we'll play 24 lands. So we have 10, 11, 12, so I only need 12 more lands. So it means we could play 6 of each basic. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18... 19 green pips in this deck. 19 green pips and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 blue pips. Realistically, you'd want to play more blue in the deck, but you need to make sure that you're having your green for Llanowar Elves. So we literally could play 6 of each basic, and this would probably be fine. So 2, 4, 6 islands, and 6 forests. 2, 4, and 6. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, plus 10 is 24. Cool. So yeah, 24 lands here. And we've got a mini Maze's End deck out of the starter collection. So you have obviously the one Maze's End that you can use for your win condition. Or hey, we're just a green-blue ramp deck with some big payoffs on the end. So yeah, if you were to take, any other additions to this deck outside of just the starter collection, number one is you'd want more Maze's End. Number two, you definitely would play more Gates. And then you wouldn't play like Llanowar Elves and stuff like that. You would play more things that help get you the Gates that you need. But this is pretty good and basic for what the starter deck does. The starter collection does give you. And this is very much so a standard legal deck. That's awesome. So that is what standard Mace's End would be like. Now, this starter collection does come with 3 booster packs. So realistically, you could open up the 3 booster packs that this deck comes with, and you can put some additions in your deck from these. So let's go ahead and open up these Foundation Play Boosters that come in the starter collection and see how we do. So let me zoom in just a bit so we can see the booster pack a little better. And then we'll point out the additions that you could make to the deck. All right, so the first pack, we've got Sower of Chaos, Burglar Rat, Big Fin Bouncer, Apothecary Stomper, Fleeting Flight, Gleaming Barrier, Elfsworn Giant, Imprison in the Moon. That's a great removal spell. You get to enchant a creature, land, or planeswalker, and it turns it basically into a colorless land. Inspiring Call, Empyrean Eagle. Ooh, an Elvish Archdruid. So I would 100% play this in the deck if we had opened the booster packs beforehand. Because Elvish Archdruid taps for a green for each elf you control. And you can ramp up by also playing elves in this deck. So the Llanowar Elves, the Dwynen's Elites. You got the 2 Imperious Perfect, so you sort of got like an elf sub-theme. Oh, and then we've got a full art Alicia who laughs at fate. 2/2, first strike for 1, a black and a red. Whenever Alicia attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And if you have a raid trigger, which means at the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, you can return target creature with mana value less than or equal to Alicia's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then we got a foil Cackling Prowler, full art Plains, and an art card. And this art card is Zul Asher, Lich Lord. Alright, so that was pack number 1. Pack number 2. Pack number 2. Alright, we got to Grow from Ashes. So this searches for basic lands and puts them on the battlefield. Tolarian Terror, Squad Railier, Incinerating Blast, Stab, Prideful Parent, Spitfire Lagak, Rune Sealed Wall, Vampire Gourmand, Goblin Negotiation, Archmage of Ruins, which is rare. So for 3 and double blue, it is a 3/6 that says instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you draw a card. Oh, we got a full art Blasphemous Edict in the same pack. I love this card. For 3 and double black, it's a sorcery that says you may pay black rather than the mana cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield. And then each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice for 5 mana. That's awesome. Ooh, foil Cats. Foil Helpful Hunter. A Swamp and a Drake. Alright, pack number 3. Pack number 3. Alright, we got a Crypt Feaster, a Llanowar Elves, Uncharted Voyage, Banishing Light, Axguard Cavalry, Bake Into a Pie, Icewind Elemental, Youthful Valkyrie, Skyship Buccaneer, Garrick's Uprising, Brineborn Cutthroat. Ooh, and a Lunar Insight for our rare. For 2 and a blue, draw a card for each different mana value among non-land permanents you control. And a foil Vengeful Bloodwitch, an Island, and our art card. This one is Lunar Insight, but I think the other version. Nice. So out of this pack, you could add... So Of note of importance, in Standard, you can only play 4 copies of any given card in your deck outside of basic lands. So the starter collection comes with 4 Llanowar Elves in it. Even if you opened up a 5th Llanowar Elves, unlike Limited, you could not put a 5th Llanowar Elf in your deck, just so FYI. But yeah, I don't think this pack has anything in particular that we would add to that deck. So yeah, so nice 3 boosters, and of course this adds these cards to your collection now with the starter kit. So, you know, your black deck can play Blasphemous Edict. Your blue decks that care about instants and sorceries can cast now Archmage of Ruins. So on and so forth. Your elf decks now will have Elvish Archdruid. So that's pretty neat. So yeah, that is the starter collection for y'all. So again, it's the same wrapped cards outside of the 3 play boosters that come with it. And you get this cool little storage Magic the Gathering Foundations box that comes with it. Hey, Bruno. Foundations releases on Arena coming up on Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday. So for those of you watching on YouTube, it is the Tuesday after paper pre-release. Yes, in Limited, you can play more than 4 copies of card if you get it. Yep. Draft or sealed. So yeah, that was the starter collection. So thank you so much for watching the opening of the starter collection. And I'd love to see what more decks that you could build out of this one kit. Outside of just me who wants to build Maze's End. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.